The Kenya Bureau of Standards is this year marking 40 years of existence. It was established in 1974 and its main mandate at the time was development of standards and quality control for locally made products. Due to increased trade liberalization, its mandate was expanded to include inspection of both exports and imports. For the past 40 years, the institution has been your key partner in ensuring the products you consume are of good quality and safe.
The world runs on standards because standards facilitate trade. Standards protect the consumer from harmful and substandard goods. Standards protect our environment.
It's time for Kenyans to understand that whatever they consume, anything, the clothes they wear, the food they eat, the machinery they use every day, these are not happening by chance, but they are based on standards that we set here.
I like to pick things that I'm assured of quality. Many a times when I pick something, just like this milk, I look around to make sure it has a Kebs mark of quality.
Standards will remain to be critical because if we are talking about regional market, international markets, we must embrace the standards that go with those markets.
You never see how serious or how critical a role Kebs play until you see things going wrong.
The celebrations marking 40 years of the Kenya Bureau of Standards service to Kenyans will take place on Tuesday, the 14th of October this year. The event will coincide with the World Standards Day, whose theme is Standards, Level the Playing Field. Kebs' slogan is Standards for Quality Life.
As part of the 40-year celebration, we are launching an SMS functionality that will now make it possible for any Kenyan to make an inquiry to Kebs to find out whether that particular item is in our database or not.
The SMS number is 20023.
The message should read SM hash, the name of the product. For example, if you wanted to know whether a particular brand of unga is in our database, it might be Kifaru, it might be Chogo, it might be Pembe, whatever it is, all you need to do is to send a message to this number. You should be able to get a response within 4 seconds.
The new measures are part of employing modern technology in order to protect you from substandard goods.
We want now to engage the public. If you go to the market, you be your own policeman.
We faced a couple of challenges in the execution of our mandate. Challenge number one, the substandard goods which are smuggled into this country. And when people see these goods which have been smuggled, then they ask themselves the question, and where is Kebs? The second one is the confusion between counterfeit goods and substandard goods. In some cases, counterfeit goods are substandard goods, but not in all cases. Where counterfeit goods are not substandard goods, then it means that even when we test the quality of those goods, they will meet our standards.
We look at how the goods are packaged, whether they are properly marked, whether they are bearing our certification marks. You know, we look for three types of marks. We have the diamond mark of quality, the standardization mark for local products, and the import standardization mark for imported products. It has to have at least one of the three.
When we find that a product does not comply, then we follow up with the management of the outlet to know the channels through which they got the product into the shelves. After which we do an action of seizing the product from the shelves, and also a legal action may be taken to the manufacturer or the importer of the product.
Cheap can be very expensive. If you find that goods are extremely cheap, ask yourself several questions before you buy those particular items.
Some of the sectors that have been adversely affected by dishonesty is the liquor industry, which has in the recent past seen an influx of illicit killer brews.
We haven't given them our S-mark, they haven't come to us. So what do? They will steal our S-mark. If they haven't stolen our S-mark, they will use used bottles which have our S-mark. Kebs alone cannot be able to deal with those individuals. And that's the reason why we now have an intergovernmental committee to deal with this problem.
The construction industry is not spared either. You are likely to fall into the trap of buying substandard building materials, for example, reinforcement steel bars.
An iron bar that has been sold as Y12, but actually it is Y11, is substandard if it is going to be used in the construction industry as Y12. It's a dangerous situation.
Kebs does not develop standards on its own. Standards are determined through consultation with stakeholders.
One of the things that we've agreed with the steel sector in this country is that effective January 1, all steel products will be branded, such that when you go into a hardware shop and you buy a Y8, you will know that this Y8 has come from factory XYZ Limited. That way, we will be able to trace the steel products back to the manufacturers.
As these people who want to cut corners continue to become smart, we have to invest in technology to be much smarter, to make sure that we can deal with some of those issues. That is why the stickers need to be much more secure, and we are also making sure that we can get standards on people's fingertips.
One of the key milestones in Kebs' 40-year journey is investment in testing laboratories. Kebs has put in place state-of-the-art infrastructure. It has specialized laboratories covering food and agricultural products, electrical and electronic, mechanical and civil engineering, as well as GMO, genetically modified organisms, and microbiology laboratories. Besides, there are metrology laboratories which deal with measurements.
These are products that have been brought for private sampling. So the customer wants to know the quality of their products. We also receive tender samples from our forces, that is the DOD, Kenya Police. They all bring their samples here before they award any tenders.
Kebs inspects imported goods like used motor vehicles. It enforces conformity assessment procedures to verify that used motor vehicles exported to Kenya are in compliance with the Kenya standards before shipment from the supply country.
The action now should be focused at the county level. That is really where we are going to see the coming up of, for example, the micro and small enterprises springing up. And as they come up, they should be in a position to start embracing standards.
Everywhere you go, quality assurance all the time. We are dedicated in service delivery, taking care of your needs. Kebs, the only standard mark for your approval. Kebs, whatever in your sight, you have to get it right. For testing is Kebs, for measurement is Kebs, assessment is Kebs. It is standard for quality life. Kweli ni viwango kwa maisha bora.
We are today, one of the top, standards body on the continent of Africa that is providing a lot of lessons and training to a lot of our neighboring countries for people to actually come and learn from. There is not, a single thing that we don't test in our country in order to meet the standards, whether it's from the kind of weights that you weigh an aircraft before people board to make sure that the calibration is done right, or to some of the sophisticated, chemical tests that are done in the laboratories. A lot of advancement has happened.
From having just 4 employees, the Kebs family now boasts of over 850 members of staff. Kebs thrives on the teamwork of a highly motivated staff force who enjoy a good pension scheme and training opportunities.
I was employed at Kenya Bureau of Standards in 1981, so I have done about 34 years right now. I came to Kenya Bureau of Standards as a little girl. When that time we were using typewriters as a typist. I have been given an opportunity, I have trained until I got my degree in business administration.
I joined this organization in 1978, and I would say Kenya Bureau of Standards is one of the best employers. I'm glad to have worked with them for that long. Since I joined the Bureau, I've seen it grow from one strength to another.
Apart from our government, which has done and invested a lot of money in Kebs, we've been receiving a lot of support from other partners.
Service delivery, taking care of your needs. Kebs, the only standard mark for your approval.
I envision a Kebs that is efficient through use of technology, a Kebs that has staff that is informed and able to articulate the importance of standards, a Kebs that has the necessary facilities to sustain that leading role.
Kebs has had a good 40-year journey. The years ahead, I think, will make their role much more critical and important for the development of our nation. We are now living in an environment where the global economy is becoming much more transparent and much more joined up. And those countries that will succeed are those that have policies and regulations that actually encourage and provide more linkage to international standards across the world.
You have to get it right. For testing is Kebs, for measurement is Kebs, assessment is Kebs. Kweli ni viwango kwa maisha bora, huduma toto bila kubagua, uadilifu kazini, kuungana, kuwajibika kijamii.